we have a little cart here, and we are going to downsize 10 plants in my collection. I'm going to set a goal at 10 and we're going to declutter a little bit, and I'll show you kind of how I go through the process of downsizing and kind of getting rid of some plants that, one, no longer bring me joy, or two, maybe I have a lot of duplicates and I want to, maybe just get rid of some and only keep one. And then if there's a plant that's really sad and it's been rehabbing and it doesn't look like it's improving, then I'll just get rid of those. So if you've just stumbled across this channel, I'm Melissa. Thank you for being here, and I hope this video gives you some insights or maybe some inspiration if you yourself are looking to kind of declutter and downsize your plant collection a little bit. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and we're going to get started in this area first. So this area here is kind of like my dining area. I have these two shelves, and then I have Hoya at the window, and then I have plants that are rehabbing or / imported and stuff on this table, some like random propagations. This is a pretty like nice and cleaned up area, so I've kind of gone through this not too long ago because I added a new shelf here. So I feel like the plants here are pretty good. I don't know if I would get rid of any that are here, but I'm gonna do a look over and just see if there's anything that I might want to get rid of. So I think there is a plant that I do want to downsize that I have too many of, and I love this plant, but I don't know why I bought the last one because I really did not need it. So I have so many marble queens. I have this beautiful basket here, which I love and I adore. It gets some low light and it grows well, it's happy. This one here is my OG marble queen. This one I've had for like 3-4 years now. This is the same marble queen plant that I started my big moss pole from in my plant room. So I do have a huge moss pole of marble queen climbing. This is another marble queen that I got at a big box store. And I don't know why I got it because I didn't need it. So I think I'm going to go ahead, and what I'll do is propagate this up and make some smaller plants for the plant shop, because I really don't need 4 marble queens in my collection. I mean, I could, but yeah, it's just so many, and I feel like, I don't know, I like the other ones obviously a lot better, and this one has some good coloring and everything, so this will be fun to kind of propagate and break down. I'll take as many cuttings as I can, and then it's still in the original soil, which I don't save the original store soil anyway. So I'll prop what I can, and then I'll dispose of the soil. And then I usually clean the pots and I will donate them. I have some random propagations down here of lemon lime maranta, which I need to go through this actually. They've been rooting in here for a while. And I also took some propagations. I have a syndapsis that is just growing in some water here, along with a couple marble queen cuttings. So what I'll do is separate the marble queen and, include this in the other pot of marble queen, and then I can, create some smaller plants like I said, and then I'll just let this one here grow in water. This technically I'm not really counting as a plant. I'm just going to sit it here so that I can combine the marble queens together. I keep putting this off as well. This technically is just propagation, so I don't really think I'm going to be counting this as like a plant to get rid of. I just need to take care of these propagations, so I'm going to sit it here because I need to take care of those. And now I have an entire shelf that I have emptied out. Now the syndapsis I'll probably put back here in its own little water vessel, but then, I've already created some space that I can kind of separate these out so that they're not so squished together. Now, some of these Hoyas here have been with me for a really long time. They were some of my very first Hoya plants, minus that one in the back. And so a lot of these Hoya came down with mealies. So you have the Crimson Princess and then a Crimson Queen here, which I don't really think they're happy in semi-hydro. So I might actually eventually put these back into like my aeroid mix. I think I'm gonna hold on to these for now. I also have a splashy Hoya pubicalyx back there, which I don't really love anymore. I did have this bloom once in my collection a long time ago when it was a lot more mature. And I honestly didn't really like the smell of the bloom. It was a really, really stinky bloom, you guys. It was a beautiful bloom, just stinky. I don't really think I'll hold on to this Hoya anymore. I think I will downsize this. I'll break it down and make a couple propagations and see maybe if somebody wants this on my shop, but I won't sell it until like it's a happy, you know, growing plant. Even though I've had it for a long time, it doesn't really bring me joy, and there's not really a sense in keeping it if I feel like, you know, I don't really want to grow it anymore. I feel like I like these two a little bit better in my collection, and if these two don't end up doing well once I transfer them back to like an aroid mix, I might eventually repurchase one of these down the road. This guy back here is a new plant in my collection. It is a Hoya. I think I did buy that one, but I have several Hoya in my collection that were gifted cuttings. I think I'm gonna hold on to that one because I haven't had it for that long, and I don't really know how I feel about it yet. So yeah, we're gonna keep that one. I really like the compacta, so I'm gonna keep that one. This guy I've had for a really long time too. This is a Hoya curtisii. This Hoya I don't really care for anymore. It grows, but then it has periods of time where it doesn't really grow. Like this here had some new growth that was spitting out here. And then some of these older vines just kind of stopped growing. I like this Hoya, but then I don't. So I'm gonna go around to the rest of my collection, and then if I feel like I can't find 10 plants, I might come back to this one because I feel like this one doesn't really bring me joy anymore. Even though I've had it for a while, I feel like I wouldn't miss it if it was gone. This one we are going to put here. Yeah, a lot of these plants I do really love. I have this really big Hoya linearis. So linearis, I actually have 4 now, and so I am going to downsize to 3. I think I'm gonna break one down and make a bunch of props for the shop. But this is the longest one that I have, and this one I will propagate eventually. Yeah, I definitely don't need 4 Hoya linearis in my collection. These we are gonna take care of finally, because I'm so tired of these here. This is the Thrippy Pallidiflorum male that I've had in this bag forever. I'm tired of it being there. We're gonna take care of it, and we're gonna see what we can do with that. These are like newer-ish plants, Hoya, that I love. I'm keeping everything here. I have some propagations here. I actually need to take care of these propagations because they've started to root. So random propagations that are just hanging around, it's just causing clutter. I'm going to take care of these. I'm gonna sit these here. So technically propagations I'm not counting as like a downsizing of a plant. So we're at Marble Queen, which is 1, this Hoya, which is at 2. I don't know if I'll count this. We'll see, that's questionable. So technically roughly 8 more plants we need to get rid of. I have some plant mail that I got with cold damage, and they're rehabbing in that container. That one looks like it's gonna survive. This one was a Hoya. I don't know if it is, but if it doesn't, I'll just chuck it. I'll see what it does though. I'll give it like another month or so and just see if anything wants to grow from it. And this entire shelf here is all anthurium. I got more into anthurium kind of like the later part of last year. And so a lot of these anthurium are newer to me, so I don't want to get rid of them. I do have some duplicates and some newer ones that I got in this container that I'll kind of separate and probably let go of the duplicate one, but they're still really small and I want to see their characteristics and everything. So, and some of these have grown to be huge, and so I am going to separate some of these plants out to get them down to a more compact, a more smaller size. So I'll do that eventually, but as far as like the plants go, I do want to keep, I feel like, most of these here. So we'll hold off on any anthurium. In this little acrobar are mostly Hoya. Ooh. Some of these are rehab Hoya and some were gifted. And some of them I don't know if I want to keep. So this one here is a Hoya that was gifted, and I had potted it up and I don't know if it shocked or what happened, but it seems like a lot of the leaves are kind of browning, or maybe they're like sun stressing, I'm not really sure. So I don't really know what happened with this one. So if it bounces back, what I'll do is, or I could maybe just try taking a propagation for the shop and seeing if it grows, and then I can look at getting rid of it. So that's one that we're going to downsize. This is a cutting that was gifted. It has 1 leaf, which I really like this leaf. It's really dark and pretty. It shot out its growth and it hasn't put out new leaves yet, so I want to see what it does. And I really like the dark leaves on this, so I'm going to keep this one. This is also another one that was gifted, and it's another like leafy Hoya, and it's just now starting to grow, so I'm going to keep that one because it looks to be really cute. It's a Hoya papashonii. I heard these bloom quite a bit, like the Hoya discipulae. This Lacinosa was gifted, but I really love the silver on that, and it's just now starting to grow. Oh, did a leaf just fall off? It did. So I'm gonna keep this one. I think this one here I'm going to get rid of because this one was gifted and I'm just not really liking it. It's attached itself way up in here. Oh, there we go. This is a Hoya Mini Kentiana, and I have propagated this before. It kind of looks like a Weyetii in a way. I think the leaves are just smaller. I don't know, I'm just not really a fan of it. So I think what I'll do is break this one down, or it actually seems happy. I could probably sell it as is. We'll see, I might try and prop it. But yeah, I think that one is one that I'm gonna downsize. I have a couple of propagations. I have a Hoya Serpens cutting, which I'm really looking forward to this Hoya. It was just a cutting, so I'm letting it root, but I cannot wait for this one to grow. I have a couple other rehab Hoyas. So this one I really like. I hope I can get it to grow. That one's a rehab, which I really liked. It's a Thomsonii, so I hope I can get that one to grow. I was thinking about getting rid of this because it was gifted. It's a Dischidia one stripe, but now that it's growing, I actually kind of really like it. It's kind of unique. I don't know if I love it yet, but I feel like I want to hang on to it and see how it does. But I recently really started to like it more, so I'll hang on to that. And this one here is a Hoya Mathilde Splash. This is my second Hoya Mathilde. My first one is super splashy. I was gonna do a second one to grow out for the shop, but actually what I might do is just break this down and create maybe like 2 small plants for the shop and then just propagate my more splashy one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the declutter pile. So we cleared out a little space in here. Everything in my Rudsta I'm super happy with. They're Hoya that I really love and plants that I definitely want to keep. And that is the very splashy Hoya Mathilde that I want to keep. So I'll rather take cuttings from that than the other one. So I have 2 of these Cruciovanas. This is the regular rabbit tracks. I have one in my bathroom, and this one was kind of like a rehab and everything. I don't know, what I might do is just take some cuttings of this one. It's kind of gotten really long and lanky, but we'll see. I might just get rid of the base, but I haven't decided yet. We are now in my little nursery area, and I have a couple of my plants in here, and there's one that I've been hanging on to, but I think it's time. This one, I think it's time to officially like toss because I just don't think it's gonna live. Let me show you. Look at that. So this is a Monstera albo that there's actually 1, 2, 3. I think there's 3 cuttings in here. So this plant has grown all white and it will not grow any more green. This I took from a round of propagations that I did probably, it's been over a year ago that I've had this growing in pond. And because it's so white, it's continually browning. So this one over here, you know, what it will do is, you know, it just shoots out a white leaf. The next leaf, oh, this one's really pretty, will be white, and it's all white growth. Like it just can't live because there's no chlorophyll. Same with this one over here, like everything is all white. And there's another one down here in the middle, a tiny one that's growing all white. So I think what I'm going to do is chuck this. I'm going to break down the pond, save it, reuse it, and just, yeah, it's really sad because it's a Monstera albo, but there's no point in hanging on to it. I've kept it as long as I could to see what it would do, and it's just continually giving me all white leaves, and there's just no point in trying to hang on to this one anymore. This is probably like the saddest one. It makes me sad when they grow all white. I have another one too. It's starting to brown a little. The newest leaf gave me a fenestration, but you see the original leaf, you know, it was very beautiful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and chop this one back though. You can see on the stem there's some green here. So I'm going to try and salvage this one. I'll probably cut it back and then maybe just get rid of the top. I'm not going to do this one today. I'm going to hang on to this one a little bit more. I could actually try chopping this stem again and seeing what it does. I might do that. This one here is clearly all white. Like this stem, there is no green. But this stem, there's actually a little bit of green. So that's what I'll do. I'll try and see if I can promote some green on this one. But I'm still gonna break this down and get rid of the other two that are growing all white. I do have one more albo that is kind of growing in all white. I'm gonna cut that one back too. Sometimes it just happens. It's really sad. And here's another one. I have 4 albos that are growing all white. Here's another one, look. Ah. So the original leaf here, and then white, growing all white. Let me see if I can get the other one down. Here's another one. How many monster albos do I have growing all white? This one I'm gonna propagate down again and see what happens. Cause yeah, the original leaf was very pretty. And then what had happened was it was growing variegated, and then I had chopped it here. I sold like a nice pretty top cut, and then the new growth that came in is an all white growth. So there is one more node down below, like right here, that might push out right there. So I'm gonna cut this off. So we're gonna go ahead and include this in the white albo. And the other two I'm gonna hold on to a little bit more because I'm not ready to let them go because I love monster albo. I love them. I have one more big monster albo in here, and then I have 3 monster albo plants in my plant room. It is crazy the amount of monster albo that I have. I need to chop this one again. Look at this one growing. She beautiful. I had chopped this back once already for the shop here. So this is all new growth that has come in since. I might chop it soon. But I have all these albo cuttings from my one that I did in pawn. So I want to get rid of those before I chop another one. Oh, this Jose Buono here, this one was gifted. It's growing really well. I had a Jose Buono before and I didn't love it, so I got rid of it. And so I'm not sure if I want to keep this one. This one is spitting out some beautiful color though, so that's kind of why I'm hanging on to it. And plus it was gifted, but still, you know, these plants get huge and I have a lot of big plants in my collection, so it's something to think about. So I'm holding on to it for now. It's just I don't know if I want to keep it eventually. Some of these plants that I used to have in my collection, like Syngonium aurea, I've been like propagating to make props of it. And then I have like Philodendron Camposportuatum. I don't have my main plant anymore, but I have props that I keep trying to prop for the shop. But it's like, it's only for shop purposes. It's like a plant that I don't want to keep in my collection anymore. Yeah, I have some other various props and stuff in here that I might eventually let go, but there's just, this room is just chaos with propagations. But we're gonna take these albos and break these down. So we're at 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, this is 6. I want to count this as one plant, and we're gonna prop this to try and save what we can. And then the largest amount of stress is here in my plant room because my plants are huge in here. So I have 2 more linearis in here. So I had the one in my shop room, and then this is propagations here that have grown. And so this one I need to, it's been living in stratum. I need to get this out of stratum. So I have this one and I have this one. And so yeah, I want to combine these, or I want to at least break one of these down. So I'm going to bring these both out of my plant room because I want one of these to grow in my plant room. But like I said, I have so many linearis now and I can definitely make more props. So yeah, we're going to still keep one of these, but yeah, just break them down a little bit. So that is plant number 7. This is going to be plant number 8. This alocasia has not been happy ever since I got it. This is Alocasia infernalis. It has really dark leaves. It's really ugly looking right now. It's in pawn, and it's probably one of the only alocasias that isn't growing well in semi-hydro. I don't know what this alocasia really wants. I got this at the big box store, and yeah, like I said, it's just not happy. I don't know. I'm going to set this one out there and we'll think about it. So I have 3 Alocasia polys. This is the regular all green. There's no variegation. I have a pink variegated, but it is low variegation. And then I'm supposed to have a mint that is reverted now. I eventually want like a pretty pink one down the road, but I don't need 3 of these. And since this one isn't variegated, I think what I'm gonna do, there's some corms that popped up in here, and I'm gonna separate these out and look at getting rid of these as like a more mature alocasia poly maybe for the shop. And then I'll take it out of pond and break this down. And number 10 is going to be this pink princess here, only because I have 4. I have 4 pink princess, and I have a white knight, or not a white knight, a red Anderson that I'm rehabbing. I basically started these to kind of grow out to have cuttings for the shop, and this one's getting a little bit tall. I have one that's like almost 3 times this height that's in my plant room, and then I have another one that is roughly the same size. And so this one is going to be the one that I'm going to chop. This is one of my OG pink princesses. This one has some good color coming in. The stem is really pink, like it has produced like really pink leaves before. So yeah, I'm going to chop this one all the way back and do cuttings for the shop. I'm just going to chop as many as I can, and any wet stick nodes I'll throw into like a propagation bin. So yeah, I think this is going to be the one that is getting the chop. And then I have a couple props on the table, and then this is my cart of stuff that we are going to either consolidate, get rid of, or propagate. So that is a plan. I'm not going to record everything on here, what I'm going to do with all these. I'll show you at the very end, because if I film everything, I feel like this video would be like 4 hours long. But I'm going to spend the next couple hours chopping and breaking some of these down, and I'll show you a little bit of that process and everything. I feel good about getting some of these plants out of my collection and just downsizing a little bit, because I've been meaning to do this, and sometimes I put off task for a little bit, but it's time to downsize some of these. So I'm going to grab some stuff to kind of get set up here. I'll probably work right here, maybe at the table, and then yeah, I'll be back on and we'll work on some of these guys. Here is our pink princess. I love how pink the stems are. It's really hard to see on camera. It's so vibrant. All the pretty leaves. So what I'm going to do is take these to the sink and make sure that they're all clean, spray them with some soap. I'm going to let the soap sit on them for a little bit. The top cutting is my favorite. And I will probably root these in just regular water. I actually have a ton of empty vases. I'll probably stick maybe like 2 or 3 in a propagation bin, and once they start rooting, I'll pot them up. And then the 2 that were on the bottom in the pond have the root system. I'll probably save some of the root system, and then I'll probably go ahead and pot them up. I'm just trying to decide what I should pot them up in. I'll probably do my tree fern mix. And then once they start to activate new growth, then I'll look at, you know, getting rid of these, but I don't want to sell them as just cuttings. Yeah, we'll have a lot of these. Pop. There's no saving this. This is a goner. I'm going to cut this again, and I'm going to stick this in water once it calluses. And there's several little nodes here on this piece. There's one right here, but it's in the white part. And then there should be a couple more. Sometimes it's hard to see them all. Well, that might actually be the only one. So we'll let that callus in some water. Hopefully that grows in with some green. I'll just stick this back on the top shelf. If it comes in with white, then I'll downsize this, or I'll get rid of this too. But I think this will grow in with some good color, because yeah, there's probably one more node down here at the bottom, and then this one here looks like I said earlier, it was trying to activate, but it never pushed out. So that should grow in with some green. So I think this plant will be salvageable. There's a couple of small little nodes here, but I don't think that's even going to be worth trying to save because this is the main cutting and then that's the growth that came out. And yeah, we're going to get rid of these. So this was the original leaf, which had a lot of white that clearly browned. But you see how long this node is here. What I could do is cut this back because this one is where the growth came out of that's growing all white. So I can cut it back to here and see what that node does. Right there. So this is getting in the trash. So we can actually pot this back up and just see what it does. And there's another node down low. I'm worried that this is still going to be all white though. And this here, we're going to cut back down one more. And this we are going to get rid of because this is all white. So let's see. This is so very sad, but it's all white, so it's not going to survive anyway. And so we gave this guy a second chance. I got him washed off and I rinsed through here and I added in some fresh nutrients. So there's 2 cuttings. We'll see what grows. And then this guy here is going to get a second chance. We'll see what grows from that. And we got 1 cutting that we took from that and we'll see what happens with that. I know we didn't really get rid of these, but that is okay. You know, if they do grow, then I'll have more elbows to propagate for the shop. I'm back. We are making progress. I have, oh, you can't even really see. I have one plant left. Well, sorta, kinda. I still have to make my individual props for the shop, and you know, I took down a lot and everything, and I'll kind of show you more of that. Yeah, the last one is this platiform that I've put off forever. I need to get some gloves. I wouldn't think any thrips would have survived. It's been probably 6 months, probably longer. Okay, let's see. I'm kind of afraid to open this. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what's going on. Like inspecting for thrips. And honestly, it doesn't look bad. The only issue is that it's been under a plastic bag, so the amount of shock that this plant is going to go through is probably extensive. I'm going to have to keep this under pretty high humidity for a while. I'm not keeping these. I'm going to let these go. I might just do like a free add-on to somebody's order. Whoa. Looks like this one sprouted in two different spots. Okay, let's rinse these and clean these under the sink really quick. Okay, I think we're in the clear. I was thinking about, since there's 2 nodes activated on this one, it's kind of crazy potting up like this. I might cut this again and pot these up into 3 different containers. And then what I'll do is keep these under high humidity for a bit until they kind of stabilize. And then once they've stabilized, I can let these go. But it feels good to actually like take care of this because it's been forever. I wanted to show you the final product. So everything in this black tray, I made propagations, you know, for the shop. So the linearis that we took down, I made 4 containers. And then that Hoya, I made into 2. We have that one, I made 2 of those. These pink princesses were the bottom parts, so they have the root system. So I potted those up, and then once they actually activate and start growing, we'll see about letting those go. And yeah, all the other pink princesses are in a water vessel here. So these guys have to root first, but we'll have lots of those. And then the marble queen that I took down, I stuffed them all in this thing of water. So once those root, we'll pot those up. This is the elbow cutting and then a maranta cutting. I have those in water. And then, like I said, the elbow, that maranta soil, which I still don't know if I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna see what happens. If it starts to grow, then I'll keep it. But if not, then, you know, I'll get rid of that. And the poly, like I said, these 2, I need to get a larger vessel to pot those up, and then these 2 here are there. And the last thing is the pallidiflorums. So I just went ahead and put them in this propagation bin that I have those 2 plants in, and I potted them up. I don't know if the root system's going to shock because they've been in that bag forever, but I have the one in that one, and then I have 2 in that one. I'm going to keep them under high humidity and just see what happens. If they end up surviving, then I'll just put them on my site as like a free add-on with purchase or something. And then this tray, I'll make room for these in the nursery area in like a separate area. And I'll probably make room for these props in there as well and consolidate those, and then those go on the top shelf in there. And I think I'll just stick this back in the bedroom for now since it's cold, and then I might just put this outside for the spring. It felt so good, you guys, taking care of these finally. Well, some of these guys. And it was nice to consolidate and downsize some plants that, you know, weren't really speaking to me anymore, or like duplicates. And I'll probably do it again. I'll probably consolidate some more Hoya, and I'll probably propagate some more plants back because I do have several more duplicates that I could downsize. I think the cats want some attention now. So thank you so much for watching and seeing my process and how I go about downsizing and everything. So if you're thinking about doing the same or wanting to go through your collection, I hope this maybe inspired you. And yeah, say we will talk to you later. Huh. All right, I'll talk to you later, guys.